Thank you for joining us and welcome to this Markets.com profile on Japan. I'm your host, Armando Gutierrez Jr. Japan has a population of over 127 million people with its currency, the yen, abbreviated JPY. The yen is currently valued at 105 yen to the US dollar. Let's take a look at Japan's economy. Japan is a highly industrialized and among the world's leaders and most technologically advanced producers of motor vehicles, electronic equipment, machine tools, ships, chemicals, and textiles. Japan's current account balance is 215 billion, with imports of 572 billion and exports of 676 billion. Japan's major exports include transport equipment, motor vehicles, semiconductors, electrical machineries, and chemicals. Its imports include machinery, equipment, fuels, foodstuffs, chemicals, and textiles. Its GDP growth in 2007 was 1.4%, with a GDP of 4.3 trillion in nominal terms and 4.2 trillion based on purchasing power parity. When examined per capita, Japan's GDP based on purchasing power parity comes out to just over 33,600 per capita. As for unemployment, Japan is currently fearing a 4.8% unemployment rate and facing inflation of just 1.3%. Taking a look at cash flows, foreign direct investment inflows were 109 billion and outflows amounted to 527 billion. Now let's take a look at Japan's markets. The Tokyo Stock Exchange. Tokyo has three main indexes on the TSE, the Nikkei 225, the TOPIX, and the J30. The total exchange-wide market value of publicly traded shares for the exchanges totals $4.7 trillion. The Tokyo Stock Exchange is the second largest after the New York Stock Exchange. Now let's take a look at Japan's political structure. The country is a constitutional monarchy with a parliamentary government overseen by the chief state emperor Akihito and chief executive prime minister Yasuo Fukuda. Japan's main political forces are three democratic parties and opposed by one communist party. On the judicial side, Japan's legal system is modeled after Germany's civil law system with an English-American influence. Judicial review of legislative acts takes place in the country's Supreme Court. As on to taxes, the standard national corporate tax is 30%. Including local taxes, the effective standard corporate tax rate is 40.9%. The top effective personal income tax rate, including local taxes, is as high as 50%, with a local consumption rate of 5%. Taking a look at Japan's big businesses, its number one business is Toyota Motor Corporation, with a 17 trillion yen valuation. Toyota engages in the automotive manufacturing industry. Number two is Mitsubishi, with a $10.2 trillion valuation. Mitsubishi is financial and engaged in financial services and the banking industry. Number three is Nintendo Limited, with a total market cap of 8.4 trillion. Nintendo is engaged in the video gaming and entertainment industry. Number four is Canon, with a market cap of 7.2 trillion. Canon focuses on imaging and optical industries for their revenues. Lastly, the big business is NTT Docomo. With a market cap of approximately 6.9 trillion, Docomo is engaged in the telecommunications industry and then some. Looking to the future, the announcement regarding a rise in the consumption tax from a 5% to a 7% will not be made until 2009 at earliest, and will not take place till 2011, and is set to do an influence on the economy. Given the economy's vulnerability to weak domestic demand, coupled with rising oil and commodity prices, the Central Bank of Japan will delay the next increase in its overnight call rate until early 2009. Despite a stronger than expected GDP turnout in first quarter 2008, Japan's economic outlook remains somewhat weak. GDP forecast is to grow by 1% in 2008, with an estimated 1.2% in 2009. This concludes our market presentation on Japan. I'm your host, Armando Gutierrez Jr., and thank you for joining us for this Markets.com country profile.